Salawam family, this is Kaya Dewan coming to you again. But today I'm going to start off a little differently because there's a song in my heart that I want to give you. This song is what I sang to make me feel good and to remind me who I'm working for and why I'm doing this community and who I lean on in my times of trouble. Bear with me, I'm not the greatest singer in the world, but I will give you what I have. This is my desire to honor you, Yah, with all my heart. I worship you, all that is within me. I give you praise, all that I adore is in you. Yeah, I give you my heart, I give you my soul. I live for you alone. Every breath that I take, every moment I'm away. Yeah, have your way. Please have your way in me. Brothers and sisters, that's just a song I keep in my heart and in my mind always. It keeps me grounded. It reminds me that I am a servant unto the Most High, and that I am here to serve Him and not myself. And that's part of my uh, talking to you today about is us serving each other as brothers and sisters. In a little bit, I'm going to talk to you about the land first, the progress of the land. I know some of you are interested in that. And the land is moving. We're currently at a standstill because of funding, but I know the Most High will provide. Uh, but besides that, the land is and the building and the community is still growing with people being interested in, and I thank the Most High for that. Uh, but it's going. I wish it could move faster, but it's not my will; it's the Father's. Uh, I accept that. But today I wanted to talk to you about what I was talking about earlier about our helping our brothers and our sisters, in any way possible. What little form you can help them with. Uh, and one of the things, like I'm going to talk to you about some of the things. I know I'm kind of babbling, but let me say this. I know a lot of brothers out there who are trying to spread this truth and are trying to do the right things. And, I want to mention them today. I want to give them their props, and I pray that you look into them and gain wisdom from them. One of the brothers that I have met, and I think he's an outstanding young man, and he's a teacher. His name is Joseph. Uh, I met him in Kentucky. He has a book out, I believe, coming out, Torah of Wisdom. He has a website, uh, uh, also online called Tour of Wisdom. Check him out. I'm gonna repeat, Brother Yosef. He's a very good. I think he's a very good friend of mine. I love his wisdom. And again, he has a book coming out. If it ain't came out already, if I'm mistaken, called Tour of Wisdom. He teaches on the Tour of Wisdom, which I'm gonna briefly talk about because I think it's important what he's teaching. Then there's another brother named Ron Dalton who also has a series of book called Negroes, Hebrews to Negro. Stand correct. Uh, they're very good books. Uh, he's a very intelligent and well educated man. He's uh, trying to teach our people our heritage and the travels and just who we are as a chosen people. And he try to give you scientific facts as well as biblical facts as much as we can do with the biblical facts um, to help guide you to know who you are. These are two brothers. I'm just going to give two today, and later I'm going to give more uh, on my next video. But I'm going to repeat these two brothers, Ron Dalton, uh, Brother Yosef, Wisdom, Torah of Wisdom. Um, you can look them up online. Just look up Torah of Wisdom, and then you will get an understanding. It's not as simple as you it sounds. Listen to the brother, watch his web. It's web pages uh, when you can. And Ron Dalton, I believe a lot of you already know him. He does the Hebrews and Negroes. He's done several movies that you can also go on his stream. He has it. He also have his own streaming line for called Hebrews to Negroes. You can look that up as well, and subscribe to it, and subscribe to both of these brothers, and they doing great work for the Most High, and I appreciate it, and I know the Most High appreciate it because He always appreciate when we do His will and do His mission and do His work. Um, what I wanted to talk to you about is one of the things that Brother Yosef talk about toward wisdom, but uh, I'm gonna talk about it to you today because in my form way, which I have always believed this. So when this brother was teaching this, I thought, this is what they need, and you know, he puts it as it's the gray area, and I also do when doing the righteous thing, and watch his videos to get if you get a good understanding of what he's saying. But I always felt that way too. I always felt like there is common sense when you keep God's laws, commandments, and statutes, but there's always the common sense factor that fall in place. So I mean, for instance, there are things in Scripture that we know we shouldn't do that's not written in Scripture. So you know, have a lot of brothers and sisters out there that teach the Torah, or they go out there in the world and they know these laws, statutes, and commandments, but they try to follow them word by word. And if it doesn't say it in the Scripture, then they say, well, it's not true. And but we have to use common sense. The Father gave us common sense, and there's always an area in which we have to connect things. Connection is important when we speak of Scripture. That's why Yahweh Shai spoke in a lot of parables to try to give people a clearer understanding. He could have gave them straight Scripture, but he wanted to give them a clearer understanding, and that's why, brothers and sisters, he spoke in parables. When he spoke to the fishermen, he knew he would understand things about the fishing. When whoever he spoke to, when he talked to the rich man, or he talked to the businessman, or he talked to those who were in the synagogue, he always tried to use parables. Now, I say this area is not necessarily gray, but we make it gray. What I mean is, I give you an example. Uh, a great example is Scripture tells you, thou shalt not lie with a man as you lay with a woman. Now, a lot of people would say, well, what does that mean? They try to cover it. Mean don't be homosexual. Don't sleep with a man sexually. We know lay with men sex with another person in Scripture. Well, it don't say don't be a homosexual. See, that is the problem with a lot of us in this truth. Now, we know what that means. Common sense has to filter in at one point that you understand that if he's telling you not lay with a man as you lay with a woman, and you're a man, we know he's talking about all the homosexual acts. Homosexual was not even a word yet. You cannot take words today and say, why is it not in scripture in the past? It's foolishness. We got to stop playing these games. Well, it doesn't say this. Well, they didn't speak English back then. They spoke Aramaic. They was Phoenician Hebrew. They spoke lots of different languages. But the language we speak today was not one of them. So you're not going to find homosexuality in scripture anywhere. You're not going to find LGTPRFG, whatever they want to call themselves. You're not going to find any of that. He was talking to a simple people at that time. And he said, thou shalt not lie with a man as you lie with a woman. Simple and plain. So this is one of the things that Brother Yosef talks about, using the Torah of wisdom, learning to bridge the gap between common sense and scripture. I'm going to repeat, bridging the gap between common sense and scripture. And we have to do that with each other. We have to understand this. And I'm always going to say this, because this is really not going to be a long video, brothers and sisters. And this is not me coming at you. This is just coming at you real, the best I can. I always say, and I don't know if I said in the earlier video, but you're going to get your rewards according to how you follow the Father's law, statutes, commandments in this world at this current time. And you're going to be rewarded by how much you do that. You can be great in the kingdom, or you can be least in the kingdom. You know that's Matthew 15, 17 through 19. So I always keep telling you, you're going to have to decide which one you're going to be. Are you going to be least, or are you going to be great? Because right now you decide. And that goes with following his commandments to the best of your abilities, from wearing fringes for men and women, for wearing dresses, for keeping the Sabbath, for keeping his feast days. All these things he's expected of you to do because he commanded. Now, if you choose to pick and choose which ones you want to do, he's going to choose and pick where he's going to put you in the kingdom anyway, but you're going to make your resume. Right now, you are making your resume. Everybody can't be a king in the kingdom. Let me repeat. Everybody can't be a king in a kingdom. Everybody can't be a prince in the kingdom. The word kingdom alone tells you that there's a hierarchy. Think about it. There's always going to be a king. There's always going to be a queen. There's going to be workers. Now, I know you saying in Isaiah, you said that the nations are going to be your workers. The other nations. They will be your bondmen and your bondwomen. I know this. I know scripture. But somebody got to be over them. Got to be a manager. Got to be those who take care of the things that need to be taken care of over these nations. There has to be a governing body. That's where your 144 come in. I'm not going to go into that. And under them will be a governing body as well. So right now, you decide where you're going to be in this kingdom. You decide where you're going to fit in. You are currently right now making your resume. If you're listening to this video, you are currently making your resume to the Most High, to your position in His kingdom. You can accept that or not. Scripture tells you that. Now, if it was up to me, all my brothers and sisters would make it into this kingdom. who are following his law, statutes, commandments. And those who are not, it was up to me, they would probably make it too. But they not they would it ain't up to me. Thank the Father to that. It's his will, is not mine. I love my people. I know they're foolish sometimes. I know they stiff necked and hard headed. I know all these things. I know you can give them scripture day and night and you can show them where and what they supposed to do, and then they turn around and do the opposite because they follow their own desires. But I can only focus on my salvation and my family's because I am the head. And that's another thing I want to talk to you, brothers and sisters. More you brothers right now. Now, you brothers walk around and you say you're the head of your household. I'm confused because I see brothers in this truth that are following their women and not being the head of their household. Now, what do it mean to be the head of the household? I'm going to make this simple. As a man in this truth, you are the lead of your home. You are your protector. You provide for her. You protect her. You keep her. You teach her. You love her. You love her as you love the church, meaning you are committed to her as you are committed to the church. I'm going to repeat that. You are committed to her in the right term as you are committed to the word. See, I didn't give you a love feeling. That's an old video of mine. You can watch it in the back, what love is. I know you're going to say keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, which is correct. But if you look up love, you're going to look up the definition. You're going to understand that it means really commitment or being committed. Like I said before, when you are committed to something or someone, you do it whether you like it or not. You go to your job every day, each and every one of you, because you are committed to that job because it pays your bills. Now, I want you to have that emotional form of love that the world created, taken away from the true meaning of the word, which means commitment. I want you to have that too for your wife. But the first one should be commitment. That keeps you from cheating. That keeps you from doing all other times, all kinds of things, not only to your wife, but unto the Father, because you are committed first to Him. Now, your wives, this is another story. When you say you are the head, they have to be committed to you. But there's something a little different because she has to be obedient to you. She has to follow you. She can't disrespect you. She can disagree with you, but she can't disrespect you. And she still have to follow your lead, even when she disagree. Now, there's a catch to this. As a head, when you make decisions in your home and you take charge of being a head, when it fails, you take responsibility for that too. But it's just not, failing is not a good thing, but it's a learning thing. So even if you fail, and even if she was correct, you learn from it. First thing you do is you realize the strong points of your wife or your spouse. And if she's smarter than you in math, you use it for her math. She's smarter than you in a lot of things, you use it for that. Doesn't mean because you're the head that you know everything. It just means that you are taking charge and you're the head of the spear and you're taking the direction. You're making the direction. Not only for your wife, but for your children. Because just like scripture said that you are the head, that the head of a woman is a man, the head of a man is Yahweh Shai, and the head of Yahweh Shai is Yahweh. So you're going to be hired, you're going to be responsible for it, because the Father looks down on your family. I'm going to tell you, brothers, something. that run around letting your wife or anybody else do whatever you want in your home. When the Father look down on you, He looking down at your household, and He looking at you because you are the head first. I'm gonna say this again. He looking at you first. Just like in the CEO of a company, he takes the fall for that company. You the CEO of your household. You are the head of your household, whether you like it or not, if you are a man and you are married. So you're either gonna do the right thing and you're gonna take charge, since you're gonna be held accountable anyway. That's why in scripture it always tells you that a man can give a woman a bill of divorce. But it does not say a woman can give a man a bill of divorce. Why? Because you are the head. So if your wife is so disobedient and do not want to listen to you, so egregious, and just don't want to follow the word, brother, you can give her a bill of divorce. And I'm not promoting divorce, because the Father didn't even want you to do divorce. When the time of Moses, he did not want to do it. But he allowed Moses to give bill of divorces. Now that's another story in scripture. But I'm not going into that right now. And most of that was even because of the fault of the men in multiple marriages. And there's nothing wrong with multiple marriages. But just like everything that we do, you can do it too much, or you can do it to a point where it's, as he put it, you cause the women to go into whoredom. But that's another story with all those multiple marriages back in the time of Moses. Brothers and sisters, it's something like this. And I know I went from one subject to the other, but to me, being the head of your household is important. Being that strong, viable man that your wife can look up to. See, I'm gonna tell you something, brothers. Your wife wants a strong man. Even when you make bad decisions, if she know you by in your heart and in your conscience, in your thought and in your knowledge of what you knew, you thought you were doing the right thing and you failed, she will still have a respect for you because you took charge and you took blame, you took the head, but you did the best you can. Now, again, listen to your wife if she makes sense about something. You don't know it all. You should be hearing before you make a decision. You should be taking in all the options, especially from your wife, who love you, and her goal is the betterment of your family as well. But if you see a vision that she cannot see, and you know what you're doing, and you may see long term rather than short term, like I do, then some decisions you will not accept, or you will hear but you will not follow. And for the women out there, just because your husband, your head, don't do what you say doesn't mean he doesn't hear your decisions. He don't hear your suggestions. He don't hear your voice. No, he hears your voice, but he has calculated in his head the best decision he know how. At least most men do that. Men in His truth, we weigh our decisions with the righteous word of the Father, and we weigh our decisions with how it affects the family as a whole, and we weigh our decisions with a lot of factors. So when we make that decision, it may go wrong, but we weighed it. And that doesn't mean we did not listen to you. It just simply means we made a decision with all the calculated facts that we had, and we believe that was the right decision. Now, I tell you, brothers and sisters, let's work together. Allow your man to be the head. Men, take charge and be the head. Both ways. Your man will fail sometime. He will make decisions against what you say, spouses, and he will fail. But lift them up. Go over what went wrong and fix it. And don't do it again. Women, your man will make mistakes. He's not perfect. Allow him. But be that support that he needs. And men, concerning your wives, hear them out. Weigh the decision. Make sure these decisions are going to affect the household in a positive way as a whole. Love your wife as you love the church. Be committed to your wife as you are committed to the word. Do it. And the Most High will barack you. He will barack both of you. But we both got to play our roles. Your wife have a role. Your husband have a role. Your children have a role. I love you, family. And like I said, go ahead and check out Brother Yosef and his Torah Wisdom online, and Ron Dalton in his books, Hebrews the Negroes, and his movies that you can still rent on stream. These are two outstanding brothers that need your support. And like this brief talk I was talking to you, we got to start supporting each other any way we can, pushing the single message of this truth. I'm going to do what I can. I love you, family. Take care, and Salawam.